what I'd like you to do is we're going to go through this handbook, and if you just follow along, if you don't have one, let me know. But otherwise, we're just going to start at the top and just go with it. Are we on?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're ready.
Okay. In the front of the handbook, you're going to see Dr. Jenny Harding, who is the coordinator for Greeley-Loveland. You're going to see all my contact information. And what we learned yesterday is phone number is missing. So if you would add, for my phone number, 719-598-7714. That's 719-598-7714. And I would like you to use that number interchangeably with the other. It doesn't matter which number you call. It just depends on where I am, what kind of reception I have.
One more time.
719-598-7714. Okay.
Home.
And then John, all his contact information is here as well. He is your go-to person for most questions. Okay.
And real quick introductions. Dr. Roseanne Engelbretson is the program coordinator, and tell them a little bit about yourself if they haven't met you yet.
Well, I've met some of you at different times, but I will be your program coordinator. I'll be your academic advisor. And this is my 47th year in education, and also my last year in education. So you are my swan song group. And I thought I was going to retire a little sooner, but then I met some of you and went, oh, can't do it. I got to stay and see you all through. So I will see you to the end, and then some wonderful person will be taking over the next year after that. And I cannot believe how important it is what you are all about to learn how to do. So I'm excited to get to walk with you through that journey. And
Hi everyone, I'm John. I'm the program and enrollment coordinator for the grad school and extended campus in UNC up in Greeley is where I live now. But I did go through the Denver cohort in 2000, taught in Denver Public for about 8 years. So really love the Denver group. It's always a great group, comprised of wonderful people that really want to make a difference. So excited to work with you. These meetings are really exciting for us because we've been working up to this point for a year. So it's really cool. And finally, yes, we're a little bit late with the two presenters from earlier, but it's all good, Roseanne. No stress. We're going to have fun.
no stress. We're going to have fun. But you're going to get the information fast. Okay, here we go. So on page 3, you're going to...
One of the very important things on the first page, you are extended campus students. That means that you are part of the continuing education category at UNC. And there is an extended campus student guide. We would love for you to take a look at that because that really goes over a lot of the policies too. Our handbook is program specific because there is a lot to do with teacher licensure that you'll learn about right now.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
Okay, on page 3, you're going to see mission statement, program philosophy. I'm not going to read that to you. You can read that at your leisure. And page 4, these are program outcomes. These are what we expect out of you by the time we finish, and we're responsible for making sure that happens. On page 5 are the philosophical stance and the beliefs of this program. That would be important for you to read. If you disagree with any of these philosophical beliefs, this is probably not your program, and you want to know that now before you start. But if you want to know kind of what we believe in and what we're all about, this is what you want to read. If you turn to page 6, these are all of the courses that you're going to take over the course of your next 13 and a half months. And this is not in order, but you will have 2 classes in the spring semester. You'll have 4 classes in the summer semester. You'll have 13 credits in the fall. You'll have 9 in the spring and 6 the last summer. So they're divided up in chunks, but this is the whole breadth of all of your courses here. On page 7, you're going to see field experience, and this is where Aspen Academy came in and we talked to you, and that's because this is one of the first things that we want you to do. This is going to start in August, but right now we're going to be asking you to kind of make some decisions about where you might want to spend 2 days a week throughout the fall semester. You are required to put in 160 contact hours with children. And we don't just have you do 160 hours anywhere. We have certain host schools that have worked with us or have asked to work with us from the Denver area, and you are absolutely invited to select the top 3, 4, 5 rank order these schools for us, because we're going to match you with one of these schools for 2 days a week. So there are some handouts here. John, would you mind grabbing those and pass those around? You're going to get a handout with all the Denver schools that we have to choose from. For practicum, we have very specific schools. For student teaching, it's not just these schools. You can student teach anywhere, but you're welcome to stay where you are and student teach, much like Patrick talked about. He went to Aspen, he stayed there the whole time, and then they ended up hiring him. If it's a good fit, you can stay there for student teaching. If you would like to go somewhere else, you are very welcome to do that. Student teaching and practicum are very, very different. Practicum is like snorkeling. You're getting your feet wet, you're getting in there, you're seeing what the schools are like. You are 2 days a week, you are not just sitting and watching, you're getting involved in the classroom, but you are not officially a teacher in that classroom. Student teaching is a legal contract between the district and UNC. There's a person in UNC whose one and only job is to place you in student teaching. So that is even if you're staying in the same school, a different paperwork happens, different legalities happen. And so student teaching is scuba diving, right? And sometimes you don't really get the feel for teaching until you get in there and are scuba diving. So what we want you to do is think right now about fall semester, not spring student teaching. We'll talk about that another time. But right now for the fall, you have this choice of schools. We have one Littleton school, which is Centennial. We have one Cherry Creek school, which is Antelope Ridge. Now, when you go into any of these schools, you have to be background checked, fingerprinted, most of the schools, except Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek, all you need to do is you need to check in. It's like you're a volunteer in that classroom, so you check in every time that you come in to do that. You will not just go into these schools, you're assigned to a specific teacher. So we will talk about how that works. We have 3 DPS schools, if Denver Public Schools is your district. 3 of those, William Roberts, Steele, and Southmore. They are all very different in culture. They're very different in what they address. You want to definitely go in there, look at the websites, check out these schools. You want to look at locations, and you also want to look at culture of the school and see what fits you. Aspen Academy, you just saw. Mapleton, if you live way north side of Denver, Mapleton is our school district out that direction, and we use Explore Elementary. In Aurora, we use Arkansas. And Douglas County, we use Northridge. Jeffco, we use Wilmore Davis. Some of these schools only want 1 or 2 students. Some of these schools will take 7 or 8 students. So what you're going to do is, after you investigate these schools, John is going to be sending you a link on a survey. You're going to rank order these schools in your preference. I do not guarantee in any way, shape, or form you're getting your first or even maybe your second preference, because some schools may only take a few and some schools will take a lot. So we will do our very best to get you as high on your list as possible, knowing that there's constraints that we don't have any control over. But when you are choosing your schools, you're also going to upload 2 documents onto that survey. These are very, very important. One of them is your resume. The schools want to know who you are, so your background, work experience, the fact that you're enrolled in this program right now should definitely be on your resume, and you're just going to do a 1-page brief resume about what you've done. The second document is a cover letter. This cover letter needs to be very generic because you don't know which school is going to get this cover letter, and it could go anywhere. The cover letter is your way to introduce yourself to the school. So what they're going to want to know, who are you? Why are you excited about being a teacher? You know that letter that you wrote to me as your intro letter? Take that and twerk that around, and that's going to be a very, very good introduction about who you are. That letter must be perfect in grammar, in spelling, in usage. If you're not sure about that, make sure somebody proofs it for you, because that's going to a school. And what they're going to do is they're going to disseminate your letter and your resume to the teachers who are interested at the school, and the teachers are going to choose who they would like to work with in their classrooms. You may think that you want 4th grade, and I'm going to tell you that that is not exactly really what you need. What you need is a teacher who wants to work with you. That's what you need. And so it doesn't matter the grade level, it very much matters whether you're with a teacher who desperately wants you in that classroom. Dr. Megan Quirk, had one of my students 4 years ago. 4 years ago. She welcomed one of you all into her classroom, and that's how we got to know each other. And she's now your science teacher. You will meet her in your science class. The thing that I want you to remember is that this is your first intro. This is your first impression. So make sure you do an excellent letter. Make sure your resume is accurate and clean. And then those 2 documents get uploaded with your choice rank order, and we will place you and let you know probably by end of April, 1st of May. Usually the schools come back with placements. That survey is due the 9th of April. So by the 9th of April, you will have put in which schools you want, you've uploaded your letter, you've uploaded your resume, right?
Very, very right. Couple quick things. It's actually due Sunday night, April 8th. So on Monday, April 9th, we can do the download and start.
Okay.
The reason why we're doing this right now is because if we don't make placement requests by the time summer happens, it's just too difficult to do over the summer. So that's why we're doing this at the beginning of our meeting. Couple quick things about the meeting as well. We're going to go over the handbook, but at the end, we're going to look at your schedule online, and you're going to be able to start to plan your life. And we have a mandatory dates page on page 23 with other meetings. So we're kind of jumping into the field experiences. However, there are going to be 18 credits before you walk into your practicum. So you're going to be very ready to go into the field to do that. So don't worry too much about that. And you also, in the practicum, are going to have a UNC supervisor who will be working with you, as well as a cooperating teacher. So there's a really good support structure there. So don't get too freaked out that we're diving right into practicum. But the real reason is so I can get that Qualtrics survey back and make a placement request. Raise your hand if you did not get an email from me yesterday. Okay, good. So the survey is there.
Out. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can read a little more about practicum on this page. You can read a little more about student teaching on this page. We're going to have another meeting in July, and at that meeting, we're going to talk very much about student teaching. So I don't want you to put too many things on top of each other right now. Just understand right now, your decision is about where you're going to do practicum. That's your main decision. How many of you have taken the Praxis 5001? How many of you have taken it? Okay, let me emphasize this. This is a test that the state requires for you to become a teacher in Colorado. More than that, it's a test that is required before you can do student teaching. That means you only have until about the 1st of November to take and pass the entire Praxis 5001. Praxis 5001 is a 4-part test. It has literacy, language arts, it has math, social studies, and science. You have to pass each of the 4 parts to have passed the whole thing. If you pass one part, you never have to take that part again. You have to retake the other 3. I have a student who is still working on passing it and is delaying student teaching. That is not what we want to do. So start it now, taking and passing this test. It will do you good. I have probably sent each of you, when I gave you your welcome letter and your liberal arts form, I also included a Praxis page. If you don't have that Praxis page, let me know and I will send it to you, because it has 2 links on it of ways that you can get help for the Praxis test and ways that you can get online support. Okay? Any questions about, yes?
I think in the email that John sent out when we got accepted or whatever, there was a thing that said that you'd be doing practice tests here.
I don't believe that happened. Is that right, John?
So what's hard about that is we offer some of them for the undergrads, but they usually are in the fall semester, and we recommend that you take it in the summer. So I'll get some dates from them when they're offering it here, and I'll let you know when that was.
Okay.
Or when that is.
It might be too late for you to take those. I would tell you not even take it in the summer. I want you to be taking the Praxis this spring, like as soon as you possibly can. You can take it all 4 at the same time. It's about 4.5-hour test if you do it that way. You can take individually the Praxis one at a time, and if you do that, then then it just takes you longer to take each one, but sometimes some people, that works better because they can focus on one content area. It's more expensive if you take it one at a time, but it's expensive however you do it. So you want to just do it however it works best for you, okay? Any other questions about the praxis?
I have a question, but I think I already know the answer.
What's that?
So I took a different praxis to start school in Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Like
but it's a
514
different-
or 518, 5018, 5014?
Yeah, 5-7 something.
Oh, no,
around
that won't work,
Yeah.
yeah,
there. Okay.
yeah,
And I
No.
won't count for anything.
No.
Then.
sorry.
But
No.
practice, free practice.
Yes, encouragement to you that you passed one already. That's, Nick, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I
Oh.
understand it costs money, but you're not penalized, you can take it like.
You can take it as many times as you can. The only problem with retaking is they make you wait, like I think it's 21 days to retake. So that's why if you wait and you have to retake, you start to get into a time crunch because of that 21-day wait time between to take the same test again. So that's why I can't encourage you enough to take it as fast as you can, as soon as you can.
So is it, you pay once and you can take it as many times?
Oh,
as you
wouldn't
want?
that be nice, Olivia? Yes, this is, no, unfortunately, Educational Testing Service wants to be sure that you pay them many, many times. So I've had students who passed it all the first try, and I've had students who have taken it multiple times in I had a Colorado Springs student who is just, could not pass the math. Finally, she calls me one day, she's sobbing, "Roseanne, I passed the math test." I said, "That's fabulous." She goes, "Yes, I got 174, but I had to ask the lady at the testing center if that was more than 157. Well, I'm not sure you passed then. I'm not sure that you really passed the math test. But she was so overcome because she couldn't even, I mean, that's how stressful this can be. And she was way late, so don't wait. I cannot emphasize that. Please take that test as fast as you can, as many times as you can, okay?
There is a time limit, so, right, I took it a couple of years ago, but it's changed formats.
The only test that the state of Colorado is still accepting is if you took the place test a couple of years ago. That is going to be honored in the state of Colorado until 2022. It's the place elementary test. That was Colorado's version of the praxis test. If anyone took the place elementary test, and I think it was 01, test number 01, then they will honor that until 2022. If it was any other test, it doesn't work. Okay? Okay. All the information you need about the praxis test is on pages 8 and 9. You're going to be applying for your license, and we will have Dr. Charles Warren come to you in next year about this time, a little sooner, in late February or early March. And he will tell you about how to apply for your teaching license. A year from now, you're applying for your teaching license. That is just crazy talk, but that's exactly what happens. So when you get closer to that, that's going to be much more meaningful to you. But any information you need about teaching license is on these pages, and it goes through page 10. The most important thing I want you to look at is on page 10, there's some red print. If yours is in color, I hope. This is maybe some of the most important documentation in this entire handbook, because what it says on this page is that this is a performance-based program. That means you do not just pay your money and get your teaching license. That's not how this works. If you have to perform, you have to show that you are a teacher, you have to be able to do the job, and then you get your teaching license. And at any point in this program that is not evident that you are able to do that, then very sadly, that will be the end. I am grieved to say I had to activate this last week on a student. So the reason is your UNC degree and teacher's license means something. It means something. It's not from just a place that if you pay your money, you're going to be licensed as a teacher. And because of that, your applications are at the top of the list. They're at the top of the piles for all those jobs. So this is very important for you to know that it's your job to become the best teacher you can be. It's our job to help you become the best teacher you can be. If at any time that's not working, everything stops, okay? Any questions about that? You can be proud of that because that's what makes your degree valuable.
Can I do the liberal arts?
Sure.
Hi, everyone. So there's something that the state of Colorado requires us to prove for all of our students, is that they have a liberal arts background. So Dr. Engelbretson has done this for you with your official transcripts, and she's forwarded you your liberal arts review. What you want on that page is for none of the boxes on the left to say must take. So that means that you will have completed an English composition class, a science class, a math class, arts humanities, and a social studies class. That means that you don't have to worry about this at all. If, unfortunately, it might say please must take, that means you will need to address that deficiency. So, I think I said something wrong about the boxes. Those say must take, not fulfilled. So if they are fulfilled, it'll be in the middle with what class you had in the grade. So that means it's all good. So that's what you want, I'm sorry. And then if you do see one on the left that says must take, we need to talk about getting you signed up for either a CLEP test, which is a college level proficiency test for any of those subject areas. That's the cheapest way to do it. Usually it's about $80. You can do it here in Denver at different colleges or in Greeley at UNC. If that doesn't work for you, then what we'll do is regroup and take a 3-credit, 100 level or above course in one of those subjects. I will work with you on that. We can look at different options, different schools, different time frames. The thing about it is, there's a little bit of a difference with the English comp. This needs to be done before you student teach, just like the praxis test. So this one has to actually have a B or better, where the other ones have to have a C or better. So hopefully, well, if you do have to take the English comp, email me right away, and we'll start to get a plan of a CLEP and or a 100 level or above 3-credit class. The other ones can wait until you're applying for licensure, but you probably don't really want to wait that long. You can take an additional class in the summer, or in the fall, or next spring, would probably be the ideal times. UNC also offers a winter interim session, which is a 3 or 4 week class over the winter break. Okay, sorry I wasn't very clear about that in the beginning, but what you want is no must takes on the left side. All right, so any questions about that?
When did we receive that?
You should have received it from me with your letter, and if you didn't, Olivia, email me. I have them all. If you don't have it, email me. I have it. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. The liberal arts classes do not hold up anything in your program other than the English